All right. Why is it acting this way? Again, Google. And it's like, why you do this to me? I do not know. I do not know why. And yet you do. And it drives me absolutely kabonkers. So let me get the part up here.
Don't you have to flip us around or something?
It will when I do this. All right, so I will restart this and put this on pre-show. And that will flip us around, though it looks exactly the same to our folks out there watching the broadcast.
Oh, so I'm still on the other side?
Yeah, you're where you're supposed to be, always. It's to us that is that way. They don't see that. They, meaning you, are fine watchers of the GeoSnippits Reboot Podcast. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We are just getting the final touches up here. Google, once again, was throwing some interesting curves at us. I'm not quite sure why, but
it's what they do.
It's what they do.
So I'm actually on the other side, them looking at us? Or yeah. I'm on the side that I'm seeing?
No, this. You see, we're looking at a monitor here that has the actual feed going out to you fine folks. See where you are in that?
Yeah.
See where you are in that?
Yeah.
It is the same thing.
Okay, so that's what they
now
see.
watch this. I'm going to show her a little something here. Now you are reversed there.
Yes.
But you are not reversed there.
Yeah. Okay.
So that's how that works. That it always looks correct to the viewers watching the feed.
Okay. All right.
Just for some reason they decide to show it the other way for us, and I'm not quite sure why, but that's how that goes. Welcome to the pre-show, guys and gals. This is Andy HeadHardHat Smith, and I'm here with the beautiful and delightful wife Amy, and we are just starting off the pre-show, and we've got a couple of little glitches. Matter of fact, it was interesting last night. And I'm going to stop the broadcast part over here on here so we get a little more bandwidth. And plus you can see all the fantastic people in the chat room. So yeah, it was last night. Google was giving us some headaches on the Geocaching podcast where they couldn't get in right and things were not working exactly as expected. And tonight. Set everything up, got things going, made sure that monitor 2 here is doing what it's supposed to do, which it looks like it is. And if you notice, we've actually got the windows open in the GeoSnippets studios tonight.
Really nice out.
It's nice out. It's hot with the lights in here, so we decided to open the window and get a little bit of fresh air in here while we're doing it.
At least for the next day or two, it's nice.
Yeah, until it gets a little cold and then it gets warm up again. But
welcome to North Carolina.
Yeah, well, every state's like that. I know Michigan, we say the same thing. If you don't like the weather, just wait a couple hours.
Wait 10 minutes.
Yeah, and that's how it is. So, anyways, we were going to start up the actual broadcast for you fine folks, and there was no start button.
He's like, where's the start button? I'm like,
I don't know.
You're the one that does this. I don't know.
And then when I sit there and go, well, I don't understand. That just makes life a little interesting.
I'm like, well, I got nothing, so, I'll be out there waiting, so you just call me.
So I'm going to move us out a little bit so that people can see that we're here, and it's not quite so claustrophobic next to each other. Because, that's how it is. We've been married for, 30 or 40 years now, and, it's kind of nice to have a little breathing room in between, I'm just saying. Whatever. So,
I keep saying we need a king-size bed. And he's like, no, we don't.
Queen size is fine. Delicious coffee. Anyways, welcome to the show, folks.
Yes.
Lots and lots of good stuff.
I heard we were supposed to get snow on Saturday as well, and I'm like, how's that even possible? It's like 70 degrees today.
All right, I'm going to have to check this out because there are... people were talking about this, all right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring up Wonderground.
Underground?
Yes.
Weather Underground?
Yes, Weather Underground. There we go.
See, now, this is where it's going to be...
All right.
He's going to pull this up, and there's not going to be any snow.
Okay, so we're going to bring up Clayton, which is close to where we live.
Yes.
And we'll do that, and then I will take a look at the forecast. Here's the 10-day forecast.
It won't show any snow, you watch.
Yeah, okay.
And it shows nothing.
No. That's what I said. It's like, okay, so just to show you fine folks, so you can see what it looks like here. Let me share this.
Where's
here.
Walden? I don't even know what that is.
I don't even know what that is either. But let me share this. So this screen share, and I will bring this over. All right. So now you can see. This is
Much
Clayton,
cooler.
North Carolina. It's going to get much cooler. And people were sitting there. Now, Amy said this like 2 weeks ago.
No, I didn't.
It said snow's coming up in the
today.
forecast, and I'm like, no way.
I told you today.
It would not be allowed. Well, today, yes, but it was brought up a week or two back. You had mentioned it.
Okay.
So, anyways, we're sitting there, and so yeah, the high today was close to 80. It's supposed to cool off significantly. We're
52
supposed to have
tomorrow.
thunderstorms probably during the show is what this looks like down here, with the amount of rain and stuff.
Tomorrow.
So that we'll be getting. So that's okay. Yeah, that is tomorrow. So not too much today. And then sunny 52, sunny 54, 62, and then it's back into the 70s. So it's like, okay, I can take that.
Yeah.
I don't think snow so much in that. Of course, it does. I will give them this. Saturday night it's supposed to be 26.
Yeah.
So yeah. Anywho,
I had several people tell me that it was supposed to snow.
You know what? No, it's going to be refused.
Refused.
It's refused.
I refuse. Oh, that's a good look for me.
When it's paused, huh? So yeah.
Please don't put that out.
I won't. So yeah, lots of stuff going on this week, geocaching wise. We'll be talking a lot about it. Now, did any of you find folks? And I like to thank Dave Self, aka Dudley Grunt, who actually put me onto this. He sent me a quick email and said, "Hey, you really should check this out." This has to do with the NCEES, which is the surveying organization for the government. And they have this little contest going on. Basically what happens is if you were one of the lucky ones, and I saw Joshua got one of these in a video, I think yesterday I saw it. He got one as well. If you get one of these, I think, and I'll have to look up the rules, what you have to do to qualify for a prize. And I heard him say this was supposed to actually have a trip to the block party if you win this.
I have my nail friend, Jackie.
Got one of these?
No, she's a surveyor.
Oh, okay.
And she's the one that was over here that did the party over here.
Yes.
And who was very interested in the geocoins, and I think she should get one.
Get what? This goes out to a rare few, and I'm one of them. Sorry. No way, Jose. So anyways.
You have to go to sleep.
Eventually, yes. So basically, the way that, if I remember what Joshua said in his video, I have to have a picture of myself with this by a benchmark. And then I send that picture in, and that qualifies me for whatever the prize is.
She can get her picture taken by a benchmark. Come on.
Okay, but this is the secret. So what happens is you have to take this, register it, because this is a travel bug. And this has to go out within 2 weeks to get out into the real world and go out and do things. So I am part of this. Joshua got one. I don't know if any of you fine folks got into it or not. But yeah, that has to do with the surveyors. Dave sent me a really cool email that I instantly went and signed up for it and completely forgot about you. I apologize profusely. Oh, see that look? This is what happens after years and years and years of marriage. You get that look. I promise next time I'll do it right. I just didn't. Anyway, so yeah, that's how that goes. So we'll see what happens.
Yes, we will.
And go from there.
At any rate.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, that was really cool. And she puts it over by hers. So anyways, it's registered under my name, by the way. So anyways, the lots
I don't really care.
Lots of fun stuff over the past week. Had a lot of fun making some really cool caches.
Throw it away.
Which we had, but at least she's not bitter. See, this is what happens when you've got a married couple.
I'll melt it.
That is on the same show at the same time. After a disagreement happens, you get. Don't open it up. I haven't opened it up yet. Leave it like, come on, give me my little pristine bed.
Ooh.
I'm just saying. I want it.
Uh-huh.
So, you know,
And
So,
we have the temper tantrum.
I am just saying. Yeah, thank you. Tanya very nicely said, hope your couch is comfy, Andy. Yeah, you know how that goes.
Without any pillows.
With cats. I'm just saying.
And the dog.
And the dog.
Oh, no, I get Emmy.
I'm allergic. Yes, she'll have the dog come and keep her warm that way. But we digress. Anyway, so yeah, that's lots of fun. And this is an excellent opportunity to show you fine folks what not to do when it comes to partnership with your wife in geocaching. We now get 2 of everything.
Yes.
I should have known. It goes back to the T-shirts.
Yes.
Once I had a set of T-shirts, and then they disappeared. And
now he has half.
And now I have half. Well, actually, I ordered twice. I ordered 2 of each because one automatically gets taken, and sometimes both. But that's marriage.
And then he'll start to put one on. I'm like, what are you doing?
Uh-huh.
And he goes, put on a shirt. I'm like, but that's
that's my electric blue one.
And he goes, but this is my favorite shirt too. I'm like,
I'm sorry, that's
my favorite shirt. He goes, my apologies.
Yes, I was so wrong.
He puts it back.
How could I? How could I even think of things like that? So yes, welcome to my world.
Oh, I'm like, you're such a good husband.
I try.
He gives up his clothes for me.
Among other things.
It's awesome. It's great.
Yeah. Among other things.
I should just give you the travel bug and be done with it, not be bitter.
It's already mine. What's to give?
See, I could melt it, though. I know firemen.
Oh, there you go. So anyways, welcome to the pre-show.
I'm really not.
And if you're new to the show, thank you for stopping on by. We greatly appreciate it. We got a lot of good stuff coming for you tonight. We have got some really cool creative caches, downright evil. Matter of fact, I kind of showcased a couple of them on the Geocaching podcast last night when we were talking about Nemesis caches. And so, yeah, it was fun. What's that?
I'm not the only one.
Yeah, I know. Geocaching wives who are not muggles really do get into this just as much as the guys, and vice versa, and so it's crazy, but we survive most of the time.
And this is all in good fun.
Oh, absolutely.
I really am not going to melt it. I promise.
Won't let her. Anyways, so yeah, it's I love you, honey.
You know I can hear you. Right?
Oh, that's right. I forget about that. So hey, if you're new to the podcast, welcome to the pre-show. If you don't know what this is where all the funky stuff, where you get to find out all the background things between wife Amy and myself as we.
Hey, did you know that the camels in Saudi Arabia are actually imported from Australia?
That's pretty interesting because I never knew that Australia had camels.
I didn't either.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
So they import them in?
Yes.
Like the beer?
Yeah, I guess from Australia.
Why don't we just let them have some of the gators too while we're at it?
We should.
Well, they do have certain Mideastern. I mean, the Nile and that has gators. So they have crocs. One of the two. I always get them confused.
Yeah, I don't know.
So yeah, I did not know that. Thank you for that fun fact. Right in the middle of my spiel too, I'm gonna say. So this is now you get the idea, folks. For the people that are new, this is it. This is how we go.
And it begins.
And so you get to see a lot of the behind-the-scenes stuff. You learn different crazy things about what we do during the week. A lot of stuff that doesn't necessarily make it into the podcast. So we kind of call this the show before the show. This is the pre-show, and the actual podcast starts in about 13 minutes or so.
Maine is the closest state to Africa.
Yes, because Maine sticks out more than Florida or North Carolina. I would agree with that. Yeah. As far as hang that left. What was the other one that kind of threw me interesting? I did not know this. We actually got on the subject in one of the podcasts. It was either this one because we in the chat room. We have geocachers from around the world, literally, And we get into some interesting discussions, usually sometimes not in ones that are even what we're talking about when we're on the show.
Kind of like this.
Yeah, kind of like this. One of the discussions somewhere brought up the concept about wild boar. Do you remember that? Basically, what it is in Texas there are wild boar, and we were trying to think of
that would not surprise me.
Some of the different other places in the country in the United States that have wild boar. Now, Hawaii, you think of wild boar because they eat a pig every other day there. But as far as just wild boar, I found out North Carolina has some huge wild boar running out.
What, in the mountains?
No, it's on the east side. It's in the, near the east coast. I thought mountains. They're out there gallivanting up there in the wilderness. It's actually on the part of the Piedmont and over to towards actually the one they just caught. Well, he didn't caught. The piggy got done. Was only about 75 miles due east of us. Like past Rocky Mount way. Really? Yeah, wild boar.
That's where my current boss is from.
Yeah, had no idea there were wild boar out that way. Hey, we got everything else here. Why not? North Carolina's got a ton of good stuff.
Yeah.
Yep. So yeah, good stuff. Lots of interesting things. Let's see. Creative geocaches. Oh, we got some real stinkers. You're gonna want to have some pencil and paper and write down some notes because we're gonna show you how we made a lot of these things. And we're also doing an experiment. And I'll tell you what. If you want to hang on for 2 seconds, there's one thing that is crucial that I need to get real fast.
What is it? I'll go get it.
All right.
Because you know how I love to talk.
Yes, in the brown box on the kitchen table with all the pieces of stuff that I use to make the geocaches, I need two things.
What? I
need the mat of the grass, the green stuff, and there is a can in there that says that's a brown color that talks about lacquer.
Okay.
It's a protective lacquer. Very important. And the reason why I need this is, one, to show you how to make one of the truly evil geocaches that we put together this weekend that we finally named Sprig. And Sprig is awesome. Hey, since it's the pre-show, why don't I give you a little peek before the actual show. This is Sprig. It's a little, the bottom part is a blood amulet apparently, I think this is kind of older technology type thing that they used to do. They've got a better way of transporting blood around. But anyways, that's what this was originally used for. It's got a rubber cap, which you can see on top, and then we've crazy glued, and this is all you see when you look at it when it's in the ground. You see a couple sprigs of artificial grass, and inside is the logbook, which will go in there when I go to actually plant this little bugger. But yeah, this is Sprig. We're going to show you how to make this. Real simple. But yeah, it's a lot of fun. Yes.
And I've got varnish.
That's what I need. And the other thing that I wanted to do, because the if I can see that for a sec, yeah, I needed the name for it more than anything, but that is helpful. Oh, that's you. They can't see you, but yeah, that's you. Yeah, that's other parts of things that we're going to use for making geocaches. So thank you, honey, for finding that. So yeah, we've got a lot of cool, interesting things for you to take notes tonight. And if not, just keep watching the video over and over, and it'll show you how to do this. Or if you're listening to the podcast, feel free to take notes. Lots of good things here. What am I hearing? Oh, we got the.
Oh, it's motorcycles.
Yes, we have motorcycles. We have the window. Let me show you.
And it's Kate too.
Oh, Kate. She doesn't need encouragement.
She could die.
Yeah, she could die. So we actually have the GeoSnippits. There we go. We actually have the windows open in the GeoSnippits studios tonight because it is nice out. So we're going to keep that up. We got about 8 more minutes before the show starts. Another interesting thing that we had this week. How many times, because we actually talked about this on the Geocaching podcast, have you ever had a nemesis cache before? Now, we had a more creative name, which I'm not going to say on this show
No,
here.
because I heard that one last night, and I'm
Yeah.
like, oh, that one won't be repeated.
Yeah,
tomorrow.
that one we won't call what Scott Birch refers them to. But the I'm sorry,
giggles.
funny. It's funny. Anyways, so yeah, the type of caches that we actually created and that just literally it was amazing that we're going to do, and we'll show you how to make those. But a Nemesis cache is apparently much more of a European type concept, and it's basically a cache that you've gone to multiple times, cannot find it, refuse to give up, and you're going to keep at it until you actually find said geocache. And that's this discussion we had on the Geocaching podcast last night. And so, yeah, it was good. And I had actually a Nemesis cache this past week.
Yes, you did.
Drove me insane. This was a 1.5. And very simple. I'm not going to give too much away because I don't want to give away to where we had it. But basically, the idea is you had two sections of which you can look. You had the upper section, which is where a parking lot to a shopping center is. There were some stairs that went down to a lower parking lot where a car dealership was. Rails along both sides of the stairway. And up towards the top was a large guardrail and a very large fence. Lots of places of which you could hide said geocache. I scoured ground zero. Each time I went there 4 times over the week. Exactly where it was saying ground zero was, couldn't find anything.
Right.
Extended my search, extended my search, extended my search. Finally, I get to the point where I actually call or write to one of the geocaches that had found it more recently and said, look, throw me a bone here. It's driving me insane. Am I even close? And found out that I wasn't. And I'm like, but ground zero's right here. No, it actually ended up being about 45 to 50 feet off of where it said ground zero. Now, this is the weird part. And I don't know if it was because of the elevation, if there was some interference somewhere with all the metal that's nearby. Something happened. Like I said, it's not like the first time I went to exactly where ground zero is.
Yeah.
I go to the place where the person tells me where it actually is.
Right.
It's down on the lower section.
Right.
I get over there and I'm going, okay, I'm going to look and see how far away this actually is from where it showed up as ground zero, and so I can project and tell people, by the way, you need to go so many feet, south-southwest to find this thing.
Yeah.
It said 3 feet.
3 feet?
Ground zero said, I came back from 4 different angles, and down there, ground zero was dead on. And yet if you went up and towards the top, 30, 40 feet away, said ground zero was up there. I have no idea why this was doing this.
Wow.
So something was interfering it enough to give 2 different readings that far apart. So yeah, needless to say, I'm now a happy boy because I did find it.
That's funny.
But wow, weird stuff.
I was looking, I wasn't being rude or trying to be rude, but I was looking up some weird facts that has nothing to do with geocaching.
All right.
Actually, the first one says mammoths were alive when they were building the pyramids.
I'm sorry, what?
Mammoths were alive when they were building the pyramids.
And who based that on?
Via National Geographic.
I would beg to differ with that.
I don't know. Were you alive?
The pyramids were built, give or take, and I'm going to be, you guys can correct me, I'm just going on a rough guesstimate. If you go by historical fact based on the Bible and dating and historical information from that part of the world, the pyramids were only, give or take, several thousand years ago. So suddenly we had mammoths, they lost their hair and died?
I don't know.
I disagree with that.
Okay. It rains diamonds on Jupiter.
That I could believe. But then that's a gaseous planet of which we've never actually,
This
seen.
made me actually bust out laughing.
Okay.
Humans share 50% of their DNA with bananas.
That would explain a lot. That would explain a lot. Wow.
And this one I know is true. Betty White is older than sliced bread.
Yes, because sliced bread came in a certain year, and then she was
she was born before that.
Yes. Now, if they would have said she was older than dirt, then I would question a little bit.
Yeah.
We love you, Betty. Just saying. Well, thank you for the interesting facts.
Turtles can actually breathe from their butts.
Well, there you go.
And I will leave you with that. I had to get to that one. I had to.
I have to. How do you follow up with that?
Exactly.
I'd hate to see what happens when they sneeze. I'm just saying. Snort.
Yes.
All right. Maybe they can breathe through their butt, but may not be the choice of oxygen when needed.
Yeah, see?
Well, there you go. Now I'm going to have this image in my head all night. Thank you so much.
You are welcome.
Thank you, wife Amy. So, yes, this is the pre-show. You guys from our patrons who are getting this fine, fine facts for you for the show.
I bet Mark will like that.
I'm sure Mark would.
That was for Mark.
Thank you, Mark. Anyway, so yeah. Mark's from OB Podcast, if you know Banana Sauce. Mark Downing. Anyway, so yeah.
Dr. D will like it.
That is something of which I really won't be able to get out of my head. Thank you. All right. Well, we are going to be wrapping up the pre-show. Thank you, folks, for stopping on by. We got a lot of people in the chat room tonight. Welcome, welcome, welcome. The GeoSnippits Reboot Podcast. And believe it or not, yes, it actually does get better than this.
Thank God.
I am just saying. Hokey smokes, Bullwinkle.
I mean, there's more if you want me to read
No, that's
quite enough.
Thank you, honey. Thank you. You did fine. And they're like, when do they start talking about geocaching? Because I'm not sure.
That's funny.
Hokey smokes, Bullwinkle.
Because I got more.
No, that's all right. I am going to get
this. I wasn't even halfway done.
You were fine, or you left it right on a good transitional note, right there. Thank you. That was good, honey. Thank you.
Oh, Static J has one too.
Oh, does he? He has a turtle that breathes through its butt?
No, he has. Alexander Bell invented the telephone. He had 3 missed calls from Chuck Norris.
Exactly. Thank you for saving the day, Static J.
That's hilarious.
Wow.
Oh,
more. See, they're going to be doing this all night in the chat room. If you want to catch up with this fun stuff, go to the chat room on GeoSnippits. Click on the GS Reboot Podcast link and get in on the fun with geocaches all around the world. All right, so I'm gonna let Miss Amy because I'm gonna go solo with the show now. I'm just saying this is how this is gonna go.
He's even got a little smiley turtle.
So we're gonna move on. We're gonna move on because this is crazy. I love it. All right, folks, sit back, relax, grab your favorite libation, your favorite snack, your favorite turtle. And
he's cute.
The GeoSnippits Reboot Podcast is going to try to get off the ground. Here we go. The GeoSnippits Reboot Podcast is a proud member of the Tech Podcast Network. If it's tech, it's here. Hello, and welcome to the GeoSnippits Reboot Podcast. I'm your host, Andy HeadHardHat Smith, and I am here with the wonderful, the delightful, the witty wife Amy, the HeadHardHatress. How you doing, darling?
I'm good, and I actually have one about Pluto.
Oh, go for it.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
We have been in the pre-show. If you haven't if you're not a patron, get a patron just to listen to episode 106.
Yeah, just for this one.
Just for the pre-show. It was pretty wild, but we're getting useless facts. Thank you, Mark. Go ahead.
This one is actually useful.
Okay.
From the time it was discovered to the time they revoked its status as a planet, Pluto had not yet made a full trip around the sun.
Yes. And I am sorry, I am born from the age of 9 planets, and as far as I'm concerned, I will go to the grave with 9 planets. I don't care what a bunch of scientists said. Just saying.
There you go.
You could keep your little subplanetoids. Pluto's a planet. Just saying. All right, so welcome. Welcome to the GeoSnippits Reboot Podcast. Yes, we actually do talk about geocaching once in a while, and we have got a lot of stuff for you tonight. We have got a fantastic show. You are absolutely, you're going to love it. I'm just saying. And it is March 26th, 2015, and in the next hour or so, both co-host Amy, the HeadHardHatress, and I will bring you some interesting information and tidbits about the game, the sport, yes, the obsession, known as geocaching. Now, as a side note, and I just by pure accident found this out, is that today, March 26th, in the year 2008, which was 7 years ago, I did my very first blog post about geocaching on the blog, and it's still there. Geocache, I'm Not Obsessed, right? It is still going on, and it's literally it's a complete library and complete diary of all my exploits when I've done geocaching from all these years. And that's 7 years to go today. My very first blog post went out. So that is pretty darn cool. Let's see. During the week, as you will see tonight, made some pretty creative geocaches that we're going to be showing you how we did it this weekend. Didn't do a whole lot of geocaching. Did find one Nemesis geocache, and again, if you listen to the pre-show, you'll find out all the different informational things about said Nemesis geocache that drove me completely crazy for an entire week. Did finally find it, but some interesting circumstances behind it. Be sure you check out the pre-show, and you'll get all the information about that. And also found some more lunchtime geocaches as well. So I was pretty well rounded when it came with that.
Sounds like.
Yep, and you were like busy with school. How much? So the people know how much more we got left.
My last day is April 27th.
Okay, so you got basically about a month.
I've got about 4 weeks.
Yeah, and then that will be it. And then you got your big test.
I have my big test that starts May 26th.
Right. We're actually going to be coming back from Geo Woodstock.
And that'll be right after Geo Woodstock.
And she's going to do that. Yeah.
And assuming I pass that, it'll be done.
And you got your master's, and away you go.
And then I'm done.
Yeah. So, yeah. So she's not going to know what to do with herself after this.
I'll find something. I'll find more useless facts, like when you get a kidney transplant, they leave your original kidneys in your body.
All right. Well, there you go. Yes, tonight seems to be the useless fact night, and the chat room is...
I get one in periodically.
...is getting in here because...
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, see?
Now, there's one that Amy just put out, too. Anne Frank, Martin Luther King, and Barbara Walters were all born the same year.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, that's what it says.
Wow. Lisa from Cash Advance is on. Lisa, I had nothing to do with this. I'm just saying. They suddenly broke into useless facts.
Well, they wanted more, so...
And they're doing it.
And you're more likely to get... twice as more likely to get killed by a vending machine than a shark.
And there you go. It's going to be a hard time focusing tonight, folks. So we're gonna try to push on anyways. So let's see. So you say, hey, how do we get on this fun stuff? How do I get onto this crazy train of people talking about everything and anything, including, yes, even geocaching? To watch the live feed, join us in the chat room by going to www.geosnippets.com on Thursdays at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time. We also have our social media links, including for you to subscribe to our YouTube channel. If there's two things that you do, hook up to our YouTube channel, Subscribe to that. It's right on the right-hand side of the screen on geosnippets.com. And also get in our circles for Google+. Add us to yours. We'll add yours to ours. And what happens is a lot of times we get a lot of information that we need from geocachers for the show, and we put a lot of information out either in the geocaching community or through Google+, and we get a lot of very good responses from you fine folks to help us when we're actually trying to get information about a show. So definitely those are the two things. Subscribe to YouTube and then also get into our Google+ circles. Finally, we have our voicemail line where you can call in your questions, your comments, your suggestions by calling 919-341-9519, or you can go to geosnippets.com on the right-hand side of the screen and click on the Send Voicemail tab, where there you can send in a voice message to us up to 3 minutes long, and ask us questions about the show, tell us milestones, tell us about some of your geocaching adventures, ask the things that you like, what you don't like, and if deemed worthy, we will put onto the show and share it with the rest of the GeoSnippits Reboot universe. All right, good stuff. Miss Amy.
Yes.
You have some viewer feedback.
Is it about the unicorn being the national animal of Scotland?
No, it is not.
Okay.
Just saying. All right.
Okay. Who is this from? Brent Smith.
Yes, good friend Brent Smith. Brent, I'll tell you what, one thing that I absolutely have to say a huge thank you to Brent is when it comes to every time we do a show, a vlog, anything that goes out, including silly stuff about unicorns, Brent sends out through Twitter and through other social medias about our show. Brent, thank you from the bottom of our heart for all the things that you do literally every day practically of different things about the show. Thank you for spreading the word about GeoSnippits Reboot Podcast.
Yes.
All right, so he had a request, and this is what he said.
Brent says, "Hi, guys. I was wondering if you could do a plug for the National Great Norfolk to Norfolk Travel Bug Race 2015. The races start May 3rd, and this year we're having 6 races running at the same time. This year we've added Norfolk, Virginia as a start-finish location, as well Norfolk, Ontario, Canada, and Norfolk, UK. There will be a race from each location to one of the other Norfolks, and I'm sure I'm butchering that word, but we're accepting mail-in travel bugs for all 3 locations. For more details there's more details on the website, which is my.kwic.com. Well,
we'll have them in the show notes.
They'll be in the show notes.
It's this long.
Yeah.
So
there's little chickas and.
That's Tilda. Anyways, they.
Not according to Peanut.
That's a different. Ways. So yes, just so that you know, the Great Norfolk to Norfolk Travel Bug Race 2015 is about to start, and literally 3 different main points with 6 different races of travel bugs going back and forth all over the place. We will have in the show notes under episode 106 all the information that you can go and click and find out how you can get involved with the Great Norfolk to Norfolk Travel Bug Race. And thank you, Brent Smith, a.k.a. Sim Rebel, for all that. They're part of the, I'm going to butcher this part too, Haldimand Norfolk Area Geocachers, also known as HNAG. So HNAG, thank you guys, and we'll give all the information on there. Check it out, and it sounds like it's a lot of fun. We might actually get involved with this. All right, what?
I love it.
Oh, more useless facts coming up. Okay, let's move on, and
because you know I'm going to read it.
We're going to add them as they come.
I'm so going to read it.
Oh man, let's move on. Tonight's episode is brought to you in part by Cache-Advance.com for all your geocaching needs. Cache-Advance.com, go find it.
And also by CoinsAndPins.com, the best place to get custom coins, geocoins, lapel pins, and patches made. Go through our GeoSnippets links and use the promo code HeadHardHat for a 10% discount. And FYI for our listeners, you can sign up for their newsletter to get notified of when new coins and patches are available for sale. We're also very thankful to all of our sponsors, and if you want to see more of their products, be sure to go to our GeoSnippits websites and simply click on their logos. Not only do you get great deals, but it helps our program as well.
Yes, and I want to do a couple of thank yous out to the viewers and listeners that have been using our logos. In other words, they go to geosnippets.com or any of our websites for HeadHardHat Productions, and they're clicking on the sponsor's logo and going to the sponsor webpage and purchasing things. With cash-advance.com, we are part of their affiliate program. And we get notified when somebody goes and does that. We've had several people recently do that. Thank you so much, because a little bit of the money that goes from that actually comes to us for the show, and it really does help us out. So thank you so much for that. A second one, I want to do a shout-out, Miss Beverly.
Oh, yeah.
From gxproxy.com, who, Beverly, we really are glad that you're getting back to the mend.
Yep.
She really tore up her hand terribly.
Yes, she did.
Just about 2 weeks ago or so. I won't get into the graphics part of it, but just basically they had to put her hand back together for parts of it, put it in pins and some other stuff. It was not pretty, and I that is a very painful way of healing. And Beverly, we hope you get better really, really soon.
Yep.
What she did, this working woman actually went to Moga this last weekend.
She literally had surgery, and then the next day
left
to go to Moga.
Yes. Now, what she did is she informed me, and she wanted me to let you fine folks know about this, is that she's got, I think, about 50. And that's a rough number. Don't hold it to me, but that's, I think, the number that she said when I read about it yesterday. She's got about 50 Moga coins, the circular event coins, not the specialty coin that goes to the VIPs and all the rest of that, but the actual event coin, the circle event coin for Moga 2015. She's got about 50 left. They are come, first serve. We will have in the show notes a way of contacting her to put in an order for them. But I'm saying, like everybody.
We have a link to hers.
Right, but not for the Moga coins.
Right, not for the Moga coins.
So what I'll do is I'll have a way that, because I think it's actually, you're going to have to call her and say, hey, by the way. So we will have that information in the show notes.
Lisa was next to Beverly at Moga apparently.
Oh, was she really? Yeah, they love it. I love it.
Yeah.
That's great. And so, yeah, she's got about 50 coins left. Book them now, because they're going to be gone.
They're going fast.
Yeah, so just wanted to let you know, and she asked that we suggested that. All right, good stuff. Let's move on. Yee-haw! Yip, yip, yip.
Deep in the heart of Texas.
That was it, huh?
That was it.
She warned me she was going to do something during Yeehaw, Yip, Yip, Yip. That was devoted to all the Texans and people that want to be Texans. That just goes along with the use of facts. That's a good thing. Thank you, Miss Emmy. Amy. I just called her the dog. Thank you. Deep in the heart of Texas.
Yeah,
all right.
I heard a song and I was like, I got to do that today.
Wow. You got to change your radio station. Making some creative geocaches. Right. GeoSnippits Reboot Podcast, episode 106. How to make creative caches.
Maybe less coffee, but yeah.
Somebody does. This is going to be a fun episode. All right, now I'm telling you right now, you are going to get this has been fun already. You need to get your pencil and paper out to do some sketches and write some notes, because we are going to throw some golden nuggets your way when it comes to making some geocaches, and you are going to be so glad you did. So what I did is I broke this down into different things. Last weekend I made, and if you watched the social media, you probably saw some of the sneak pictures of different things that I was creating with these geocaches. Most of them are so simple it's ridiculous. And some of them,
I was kind of wondering what the big deal was.
Well, the whole thing is a lot of people.
Notes.
Well, it's just for some of the things, and we'll go into that in a minute. So let's start off with one of my favorites, and actually two of my favorites. They're both micros. They are evil.
Yes.
They are
very easy to make.
It's so easy, it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
But
you don't need notes for these guys.
If you want the
others, you do.
Okay. Basically, what happens is this. And I will show you the parts, because this first part was made for a larger geocache, of which we will show in a little while. Now, when you go to your craft store to make things for geocache, camouflage is huge. Camouflage makes the difference between a muggled geocache and a non-muggled geocache. It is the thing that makes a difficulty much more strict when it comes to how well you camouflage a geocache. One of the geocaches, and I'll tell you right now, a lot of these ideas I actually found from Pinterest. Sorry, guys. But out of Pinterest and used these ideas and created my own. So one of the things that you buy from Michael's, and you'll notice there's a corner of it missing here because that's what I used to make the geocache. This is from Michael's, and this is called Classic Greenery, and it's the company that makes it is called Ashland. This is actually a little bit expensive. This square, which is heavy-duty artificial grass, it's on this mat, which I found very, very helpful for cutting it out and also for placing it and gluing it down. It was wonderful for this. This is $14.
Serious?
Yeah, so it's pretty expensive. Now, one of the things that you can do with this is you can see these little pegs for the people watching the video. For the ones listening, it's a mat with these little, what I refer to as sprigs.
Well, it looks like a grid on the bottom.
Right, and what pops off of each one of the grids is this little, and I'll put this over here, is this little piece that looks like 2 or 3 grass blades. There's like 15 grass blades per large blade.
It looks like a tuft of grass.
A tuft of grass, and it's
to me, it
got a little hole at the bottom of it where it hooked down onto the mat, and it's very, very heavy duty. Good sized, and very easy to use. Yeah. Now, what I did with that is I took that tuft and cut off the bottom section of it, the little circle. I actually cut that part off, and I made this. This is sprig. Now, the bottom part here is, these are little blood amulets. And I don't think they actually use them as much anymore. They've come up with better ways of transporting blood. But you can still get these. And somebody actually brought a bunch of these to an event. And we grabbed a bunch of them when they brought them and said, hey, can you use these? And we're like, oh, yeah.
I mean, it's even got an expiration time.
It actually has it onto that. So basically what happens is you have this little tube, and that's where you put the log in this little plastic tube. It has a rubber top that is very, very, this is heavy duty. This isn't going anywhere, and it's waterproof. So you put the log in the bottom of it, and then on the top of it is a circle hole. And you take the little sprigs from that greenery, and you put them into the hole, and you put crazy glue. Mm-hmm. I used Gorilla Crazy Glue for this one.
Yeah, that ain't going anywhere.
And that's not going to go anywhere. You let it dry overnight, and voila, you have an evil geocache. Now, I would not put this in a place where people walk, but I would put it in a place where people are going to have to search. And you can try to make the colors of the grass match the area that you're trying to put it.
You could even put it in some trees.
I would say that too, yes. But the idea is you just take it, push it into the ground, and poof, you got a little tuft of artificial grass. Yeah. Go find it.
Yeah.
So make sure your cords are accurate when you do this, because
this
is going to drive people absolutely insane.
Yeah.
Whole thing for this, cost what? 50 cents? We got the bottom part for free. 50 cents a buck to make. And it is evil. You're going to have people really, really love it, and other people think that you are not a nice person. Now, under the same guise as using that little blood amulet tube, try finding this. This is what I call shiny penny. And what it is it's a blood amulet that you put the logbook in with a shiny penny crazy glued to the top of it. And again, you push it into the ground, and this is all you see is the penny. So evil. Be very careful how you put this with people, because they're going to be ticked when they try to find it. Very, very difficult, very evil, very simple to make. So that's for nanos or for micros. This is pretty sneaky. I love that. All right. The next part that I had was kind of cool too. Now this is a pure experiment. What I did is I went to Michael's, which is a craft store.
The same type thing as like Hobby Lobby or that type of thing that some other places have.
Yeah, different craft stores that you see around the country.
And a lot of places will email out some 50% off coupons and that type of thing.
Sure.
And with those little ampule things, you can call medical supply places and
they're rejected.
Just ask if they'll give you the expired ampules. They may or may not, but it's certainly not going to hurt to ask.
I did the same thing for 35 millimeters when you go to the old film stores.
Yeah, medical supply people are kind of
picky over
sometimes, but it certainly won't hurt to ask, and you'll be no worse off if they say no.
Very true. Okay, so anyways, back to Michael's. I bought several items that were literally, and I'm not kidding, the boxes were $1 a piece. So I'm not investing a whole lot of money in this, but I know what you're going to say. Okay, if you've ever seen the boxes that you get at a craft store that are that inexpensive, they're usually made out of some kind of balsa or pine, very, very soft wood. How's that going to last more than 2 seconds out in the wild? I say. So let me show you one of the examples. This one is a little, for the people that I'm describing to the people that I'm showing in the video, this is a little, probably about a 2.5, 3 inch by 3 inch by maybe 1.5 inch box. It's got a lip to it. The top of it comes off very simple, and you've got enough room to put small items into said box. Now again, it's a pine or a balsa. And it's like, Andy, how's this going to last? All right. What I did is I went through for these, and I'm going to do an actual experiment. I'm going to put these out, and I'm going to measure for a year how well these put up with the weather. I think they're going to do fine. Basically what happened is I've got several layers of paint that are on these boxes, top, bottom, side. I've camoed them, and then the part that really is important is the varnish that I put on after that. And let me show you what I mean. This one, the person that I talked to absolutely swears by this. It is by Cabot, and it is called Premium Wood Care since 1887, and it's satin spar varnish. It is made strictly for putting out onto wood-type items for outside. It is heavy extra duty, and again, it's Cabot Spar varnish.
You could probably also get some marine paint.
Well, this is actually what it is.
Right.
It's a type of marine paint that goes over other items that are meant to be in the water.
Yeah, but I mean the other paint.
Oh, the actual paint that you put on.
Yeah, it is also marine paint.
Very true.
Yeah.
Now, imagine this with this little box, okay?
Looks like stone or wood or something.
Yeah, it's got a very cool grain. Whoops. Sorry, as I drop this part. It has a very good, I use textured paint with this over the base color to give it like a stone or a gritty look to it. Very cool camouflage. Imagine this, and this is what I saw to give me the idea of it. I just didn't get the actual piece. On Pinterest, the way that they showed this particular one was that they had the square box. You turn it diamond shape, so you turn it 45-degree angle, and over this you either buy a trail marker, a number for a trail marker, or a reflector for the color for that trail. And you put that on the front of it. You take the inside of the box and you put it on a post, nail it to a post, put a little magnet on the inside and a little magnet on the cover so it stays tight and closed, and then make it into a fake trail marker. Now, you can also take that with the same concept. For me, what a cool night cache this would be with a reflector on the front of it, so that if you face at a certain angle with your light, the reflector goes off of this that is off in the distance.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where your waypoint or your next geocache find is.
Mm-hmm.
So this would be great for a multi-cache or a series of these with multi-caches, or a puzzle cache or a night cache.
Mm-hmm.
And again, I really think, and we'll test this over the next year to see how well this varnish works, or the actual varnish, and see how well it holds up. But they really say this is like extra heavy duty.
Yeah, I wonder how waterproof it's going to be though.
Well, what I would do in a case like any of these, and you'll see examples with some of these that I'm going to show, I am a firm believer of a container in a container. So in other words, this is just a host, but what will fit in this is a small lock and lock box or a small 35 millimeter container.
I am a big fan of waterproofing the inside with paint and varnish.
Yes, and you can do that.
Mm-hmm.
But in this particular case, that's what I had with that. So that's the first one. So we got ourselves a very cool trail marker as an idea. Now the other one, which is kind of cute as well, again, cost $1. For the people that are watching,
that's cute. I really like
this.
That one.
Is a little treasure chest. For the people listening to the audio, it's about maybe 3 inches long, maybe 1.5 inches wide, 1.5 inches tall.
Did you get that at the dollar store?
Yeah, no, I got this at Michael's.
Oh, Michael's? Okay.
For $1.
Yeah.
All right, now this one, it's got a little latch on the front. It's got hinges on the back. Now this I did paint on the inside.
Yeah.
So
I always think that that's best if that's what you're going to put out.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Now the idea that I have within here is it's just big enough for a 35 millimeter container in here. What I would do in this particular case, it's the white ones, not the black ones with the gray lid on it, because those aren't as waterproof. The white ones have almost an O-ring center around them, and they're much more waterproof as far as 35 millimeter containers, if you can find them anymore. Mm-hmm. What I would do with this as a treasure chest is I would paint the 35 millimeter gold.
Oh, that's a good
and
idea.
Make it look like treasure.
Yeah.
So when they open it up, that's what it has.
Yeah, that's a cute idea.
Now you can see on here as well, it's got a beautiful shine to it. It's got a nice, it's still camouflaged. Mm-hmm. And the front actually does close down and lock. Mm-hmm. And this would be something, now again, I would not put this out directly into the weather.
No, but part of a treasure is having to find it in like a hole or something.
Yeah, and
in like a tree trunk that has a little hole in it.
Now this could actually be the host for that, and you put it up maybe a little bit.
Yeah.
So it's going to stay up. Or I would do this again as a waypoint.
Yeah.
So you're on that multi-cache going to your treasure ammo box, and this being one of the waypoints that you have to find. Mm-hmm. Again, we're going to do exactly that and put out a geocache or a multi with using these and see how long they last for the next year and see how well this varnish actually holds up. If it does, I'm going to be a huge advocate for it, because finding weatherproof varnish,
I think it's going to be fine,
is going to go. So I think, again, if you're putting it in something out of the direct elements, these are going to be great.
If it's meant to be put on boats and things that's going in the water, and
then it's gonna keep.
It will be fine.
Yeah. So
salt water is hateful.
Yes, very much so.
Stuff.
Little birdhouse micros, we showed those on a previous show. Mm-hmm. Same exact thing. You paint them down, you shellac them down with the varnish, and have a little bison tube and a cork in the front of the hose.
You can have a lock and lock box in them.
Or a lock and lock box, yeah.
How big they are.
Absolutely, and work that out. So that's the wooden ones, which I thought were pretty darn nifty when it comes to stuff like that. A lot of people saw this out of my pictures that were out on the social media and thought this was awesome. So let me show you this. Now I had an idea with this. This is a giant paper clip. For the people that are listening,
actually that's a clothespin.
Or a clothespin, I should say.
Yeah.
For the people that are listening to the audio, the clothespin is probably about 1 foot long, and it's got a huge spring on it, which works, and it is completely painted and varnished and camouflaged. Now, this is the idea that I went with this, all right? You're looking for a waypoint out in the middle of the woods. Mm-hmm. Now imagine you've got this really cool hole where the spring is. Wouldn't it be cool if you used a heavy-duty string/twine/wire, whatever that you're going to want to do, that you're going to hoist this up into the trees, or put it in a very cool hiding spot. Attached to where the clothespin actually closes is a laminated card with waypoints on it. And that way the people would have to go pull down. You could even put this on a spring or something that goes up into a tree. Or actually, another cool thing, how about this for an idea? Because I've seen this before. You take a stick that's about 3 feet long. You attach this to the top part of the stick. And then you take the whole thing and put it inside a hollow tree. So when they look at the gnome hole, all they see is a stick. They don't think to pull down the stick with this attached to it. Beautiful. I love that idea. Now, on the laminated card is some waypoints. And I've got an example here. Miss Amy, if you'd hold that up for me. Now, think about this. On the now this is a large piece of paper here, so it's not going to be quite as big as this, and it would be under lamination. All right? This is a UV light from gxproxy.com. When you look at the card, you would obviously have to make this into kind of a puzzle cache for people to figure this out. If you move that closer to the actual thing there, check this out with the blue light. Let's see if it actually shows up. All right. We have, I don't think you're going to be able to see it. All right, let me try one more time. I'll bring this closer. On here.
Show it from the back, maybe.
All right.
Does it show from the back?
Nope. You can't really see it here. The camera's too bright for this to show. But basically what happens is with the UV light on here, one of the numbers says -1, one of the numbers says -2. If you don't have the UV light checking out the coordinates, your coordinates are going to be off, and you're going to be way off. So another cool way of using UV light, or you can make it so that the entire set of coordinates is done in UV light. So in other words,
they pull down a blank sheet of paper.
They pull down a blank sheet of paper. It's like, what gives? Use this puppy on it, and you can go through and actually find your coordinates that way for a puzzle cache. So very cool idea. The clothespin is neat, and a lot of people had a lot of interest with that clothespin. So that's another cool thing that we made that we're going to be putting out as well. The other one, and I forgot to bring it. I actually forgot it. No, that's no big deal. Okay. One of the things that I did find in there was a galvanized box. Now these galvanized boxes, it's about the size of, you remember your 3x5 cards that you used to have as an index? Okay, kids, boy, no, not a Rolodex, but an actual index box where you had the 3x5 cards in them. Okay, it's that size. Completely waterproof, completely rust-proof. They're galvanized steel. I got them for about $5 a piece.
I don't know that I'm.
Well, the cool thing about...
I would not be thrilled with that.
All right, but the areas that I would put it is there is a lot of duct work when it comes to behind stores and stuff, underneath drains, things like that. You basically attach magnets to it, and you put it either below the drain or behind the drain or sitting right in plain sight on top of a bunch of the other duct work, or niched in a corner. There's a bunch of different ways that you can do it. Yeah. And again, $5, couple magnets, and away you go. And if you want to put an actual geocaching symbol on it, go for it.
Yeah, and absolutely, that's one thing that I would do with that one.
Okay.
Because
that way you don't. You're more afraid of people actually going in and doing damage to something.
I'm not afraid of them doing damage. More. Hang on, I can't do two things at one time apparently. I'm not afraid of them doing damage more than I'm worried about people thinking that it's something it's not. Does that make sense?
Right.
I don't want people going in and thinking, oh my gosh, that's something that's not supposed to be there. It must be a bomb.
No. That's the whole point.
So
it's going to look like ductwork. It's going to look like the real thing.
I want people to know that it's okay, that it's benign.
Okay. Well, put a geocaching symbol on it for that.
Right.
All right.
And so I've seen too many people close off parking lots for typewriter bags.
Right. But if you make it look
stupid.
so much like the rest of the ductwork, people are never going to see it. They're never going to look at it.
In that case, that's true. But you see my point.
Yeah. If it's a banana in a pine tree, people are going to go bananas. But if it looks exactly like what it's supposed to match up with that, they're not even going to give it a second thought.
Yeah. But I mean, I'm just too paranoid.
That's it. All right, now what?
He's like, yes, you
yes,
are.
I am. So we're going to move on to the next part. All right, the other part where I actually used that grass greenery was for this guy, and again, I got this right out of Pinterest. It's really, really cool.
This is what he did while I wasn't home. I was pet sitting.
Right. This is a lock and lock box that is your standard, probably 4 or 5 inch by 4 or 5 inch by 3 inch. And on the top of it
Did you stencil a leaf on there?
No. I used 2 different types. No, that's just the way the paint made it, but it gives a cool texture to it. She's wondering what this little growth part that looks like here.
Leaf?
Hey, it wouldn't be the first time that I've done that. But basically what this is a lock and lock box that's been completely camouflaged, and this is the other part that I found very interesting. I used the lacquer over the paint. One of the things that you find with lock and lock boxes or any kind of plastics when you try to paint it is that over time people touch it and the paint lets go or it cracks.
Yeah.
And then you've got these gaping holes in your camouflage. I painted it, I camouflaged it, and then I covered it in that same lacquer. And it makes a rock hard covering over this
so the lacquer's over the camouflage
it's actually over the camouflage.
Oh, I did feel it.
Yeah, it's actually onto the grasses. Now I used 2 different type of grasses on here.
Yeah.
I've used the flat green, which is that mat that I bought, and then I bought a couple of sprigs of other types of. It looks kind of like a greenery bush that you would have. I mixed the 2 together, so it doesn't just look like a bunch of grass. It's got combination of different types of greenery there, which makes people just look right over it. Glued it down to the top of the lock and lock box, and the mat that was attached to the amount of surface that you have to attach it to the top of the lock and lock box is so much more because it has that grid factor that the grass is actually attached to. So it is awesomely done, and literally,
if he does say so himself.
If I do say so myself, it's a fine camouflage. Now you take this and place it in an area like underneath a bush. You make sure that the bottom of the lock and lock box is, because it's nicely covered. I colored the bottom section brown, so it's going to blend more with the ground. But you level this out in an area where this is going to match to the greenery nearby.
Stick it in the bush.
Or in the bush or whatever. People are going to have a hard time finding this.
Yep.
And that's the whole point, is to make it fun and challenging.
I have a hard time finding them anyway. So.
Right. So this is awesome. We're also going to put this out because I want to see the effects of how this outdoor lacquer that we talked about, how it works over painted plastic.
Oh, you know where we could put that?
Sure.
See,
go for it.
I'm already thinking of places in our yard we could put this stuff.
Well, I'm not going to put it in the yard. I'm going to put it out. I'm going to make geocaches out of it.
People are going to be traipsing all through our yard.
No. We can't do that. We can only put one, and we're going to put a travel bug in ours.
I know.
So anyways, that's the stuff that I made for that. I do have a couple other ideas that have come from older GeoSnippit videos that I still have. I put some out, some I didn't. I kept for keeping. This is rather interesting. This clump of dirt / anthill that I'm showing onto the video is textured paint. And it's made out of Bondo.
There's a Tanja had a good idea.
What's that?
He said he found that the paint sticks better if you rough the plastic up a bit.
It does.
Fine sandpaper.
It does. Unfortunately, it still doesn't grasp. So the idea of using the lacquer puts a candy shell over your paint. and makes it a tough shell so that even with it, not only is it grabbing onto the plastic that way,
so if
it's
you rough
protected.
up the plastic, the paint sticks to it better,
right.
but then
you paint it and
paint
then
over the lacquer, and then everything sticks to it for the long term.
Right, the lacquer protects it.
Okay.
It protects everything of it. So basically what this is an anthill or a clump of dirt, and you match the colors, use textured paints with this, and you match the colors to the surroundings of which you're going to put it. In the bottom of it is a 35 millimeter container. And that's literally the whole thing there. This is what I used to refer to as my evil anthill geocache. And it's actually a GeoSnippets. You can go out there and actually watch how I made it. But it's still very sneaky, very cool. If you put this right into the ground next to something, it works great. It just blends right in. People walk right by it. And then the final thing that I have for tonight are these guys. This is a modification to my Mondo Anthill, and I'll let you hold this one if you want.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. This is made out of acrylic. You can get this again at Michael's or any craft store. Acrylic, usually what they do is they take it and they pour it into a mold, and it turns crystal clear, rock hard, and goes that way. What I did is I had a styrofoam base that I dug a hole into, poured the acrylic in, and then it gives, when it comes out, this really cool asphalt rock look to it. This is great if you paint it for certain colors. It kind of looks like tree bark. Other ways you paint it, it kind of looks like asphalt. And if you flip it over, dun, 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 is a nano that fits right in there. And again, you can place this on the side of a tree next to some rocks, and makes a very, very sneaky, evil hide. So very cool. And they're very durable. They're very hard and tough, and just
a little flexible.
A little bit flexible, but just enough so that if somebody steps on them or whatever, they're not going to break. So yeah, those are our evil type hides that we have for creative geocaches today. The only other one I do want to mention, again, I didn't have time to make for, but I saw this on Pinterest, and I thought it was an awesome idea.
You were a Pinterest fool last weekend.
You want ideas, you go check out Pinterest. What they had was basically, now I do want to stress this. A lot of the stuff that you see from us here, when one of the guidelines when it comes to placing a geocache is you cannot use a tool. All right? You cannot use a tool or any major device to dig a hole to place a geocache.
But what,
that is considered burying.
But what if you're doing a pole to...
A pole?
Yeah, to put up like a...
The pole's got to already be there. You can't, in other words, you can't bury the geocache is the main thing that they go from there. You can use things like stakes to stick into the ground.
Yeah, okay.
You can, like the little sprig and the little penny, you can push that into the ground. That's fine. What they don't want as a guideline is you digging holes into the ground, placing the geocache in the hole, and then covering it with something. That's a no-no. If you have to use a tool to place your geocache, that's a no-no. If you find a hole...
Yeah, I mean, if you're like going to put up a birdhouse and you needed a
that's
pole
different. That's not burying, though.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
Right, but if you're going to use a tool to in the ground to place a geocache, that's a no-no. Can't do that. So that's considered burying any way that they slice it. No tool to dig a hole to do it. Now, if you're out in the woods and you find a hole that fits a geocache,
you didn't dig it.
You can do that. There's nothing wrong with that.
You didn't dig it.
Right. Now, when you have that type of a situation, one of the things that I saw, again, camouflage, that was awesome, is they took an old piece of wood that was about, I don't know, maybe a foot by a foot or so, not quite perfectly round, but you know what I mean. It's just a flat piece of wood that's been weathered, laying on the ground forever, and they took that, and then they completely camouflaged the top of it with grasses. They glued down rocks. They had it make it look like it's part of the ground.
Uh-huh.
And then put your geocache into said hole that you found, and put that on top of it. And that makes a very cool camouflage.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, the trick is with this, and number one rule, boys and girls, no diggy, no making a hole that's not right. If you find one, excuse me, boy, that was good. If you found that,
I'm sure they enjoyed that one.
If you find it out in the woods, that's totally legit, but you can't make the hole to make it fit.
If you just mentioned to the property owner that you needed a hole and they just happened to dig one, then that would be.
Nah, don't be spreading this. They got guidelines. The whole thing that they're terrified about.
Don't do that either.
Yes, they're terrified about is people burying geocaches.
Yeah,
that's not
stuff.
part of this part of the game.
That's not fun. Okay.
But you can place it and cover it with stuff. So that's the principle that you go.
Yeah, just sprinkle some stuff over top of it.
Anyways,
like sprinkles.
So that's
everybody loves sprinkles.
So that's what we have for tonight. We hope you enjoyed our creative geocaches, and I hope that
our random knowledge
that this helped plant the seed for you to go out and make your own geocaches.
Like banging your head up against a brick wall burns 150 calories an hour.
Thank you.
That was not from me.
Oh, thank you, useless facts out there. That's awesome.
I learned that from somebody else.
Woo! Just saying. All right. Hope you enjoyed it. Let's move on.
Your support helps keep all of the GeoSnippits Reboot shows running along. Please consider making a PayPal donation through the link on our website to support our efforts and your ongoing entertainment. From all of us at GeoSnippits, we thank you.
That's right. And if you don't want to do PayPal, please consider using our Patreon program. This is very beneficial and is working very nicely. We get basically you fine folks help support the show. You have us literally keep the lights on by you providing some monies each and every week that comes to us, and when the bills come up, and believe me, they come up a lot, it literally helps from everything from hosting to the websites to you name it, we need it, and we appreciate everybody out there in the GeoSnippits universe who is a patron. Now, not only do you become a supporter from our show, you also reap some rewards when it comes for the patron program. Something as simple as automatically being logged into a contest as a patron, getting extra entries as a patron, right up to different type of rewards like our patron pre-show. We also have, once in a while, we have hangouts. We've got another one that will be coming up very shortly that are only for patrons. We have, yes, we are very happy to say this, the path tags are finally on their way and should be here about mid-April.
You thought they were here today, but there weren't.
No, that's how it goes. Now, this is how this works if you're not already aware of this. For the people who have already pledged for the path tag reward and have been so nice in waiting for this to go get through and finally get approved and put into place, we also have for Geo Woodstock the HeadHardHat path tag.
The team
HeadHardHat.
See, it's all about him, so he keeps forgetting that team.
She's the HeadHardHatress too, so that's how that works. So anyways, it's a special path tag that we're going to be giving out and trading at Geo Woodstock. And what we are going to do as a thank you for you fine folks for waiting so long and so patiently about this, when the actual path tags come in for the patrons, you will also receive a Team HeadHardHat path tag as well. So you're going to get two for your troubles for that. And that'll be for the people that sign up for the patron campaign, and until the path tags reside. After that, it's going to go to just getting the patron path tag by itself. So it's just our way of saying thank you for being so patient with all this. All right, good stuff. Let's move on. All right, it is time for the GeoSnippits Geocaching Cache Stash. Let me explain what that is. We have some of the best businesses in the geocaching world, and they want to tell you fine folks about the different products and services that they provide. So what they do is they send us some of those products, and we wish we just switch around and shove our magic wand and wave it and tell it all sorts of stuff and turn them into prizes. Just for you fine folks.
What do you do when you tell them all sorts of stuff?
Like what?
You tell the prizes things?
Yes. We wave the magic wand, and
What
it
do you
suddenly
tell the
says,
prizes?
"Biggity boggity boop, you're a prize." And then it knows. It's just how it is. So anyways, we take said prizes, and we send them
And
to you
I'm
fine
strange.
folks. Each and every week, we have the GeoSnippits Geocaching Cache Dash. And Miss Amy is going to let us know what the prize was for last week, which was episode 105.
The prize was from cache-advance.com. It was the very pretty Dragonfly Geocoin.
It's gorgeous. It's very pretty, multicolored, has a blue background to it, and is a beautiful geocoin. Thank you, Lisa from Cache-Advance, for providing that for last week's episode. So what was the question?
Oh, the question. There is a new bare bones bit strip cartoon on the geosnippets.com website that will be our graphic for the Geo Woodstock 13.
Yes?
Who's driving the car?
That's right. Somewhere hidden on the GeoSnippets website is a cartoon. And it actually has Miss Amy and I in a car. And we are going to slowly add graphics to the car and the bit strip itself. And we're going to put it on the front page of GeoSnippets starting this week. And we're going to start adding things to it as Geo Woodstock gets closer and closer.
Like flowers?
We can put all sorts of things on there. Yes. And so that's what we're going to do. We're going to decorate it up, and it's just our way of reminding everybody that Geo Woodstock is getting close, and our way of saying we are going.
Woodstock or bust.
Woodstock, and it'll probably say that as well. And we actually just figured out we're going to go a day early. We're actually going Thursday.
Taken off for that.
Well, we'll figure it out. But anyways, we're going to be going out there Thursday instead of Friday and get there early. So that we can, meet you fine folks out there. And they've got a lot of events on Friday that I want to see and have fun and do things with. So this will be a lot of fun. All right, so anyways, to answer the question of 105, who was driving the car?
Me!
Miss Amy was behind the wheel. It's fictitious graphics, I'm just saying. So yes, the answer is Miss Amy was driving the car, and again, we'll put it on the main webpage.
Yeah, actually, I won't be driving to Woodstock. He will be. So.
All right. So this is how this works. We have a list of all the people that sent in the correct answer, and I've got it up on my screen here, and I have right here my little tablet, and if it plays nice and starts for me, I am going to bring this up, and let me see where it is right here. There it is. I have a random number generator, and in there I put the number between 1 and the correct amount of answers. I'm literally doing it right now as we're talking, and and we are going to go through and pick the number. And it's going to randomly generate, because that's what random number generators do. Now, Miss Amy has the magic geocoin, which has been lost and then refound. And she's going to flip it. If it's heads, we're going to count. Let's say it's 4. It's not 4. If it was 4, we would count, and it was heads, we'd count down 4 from the top of the list, and that would be our winner. If it was tails, we'd count from the bottom up 4 entries, and that would be the winner. It adds just a little bit extra randomness to whoever wins. Miss Amy, are we going heads down or tails up?
Tails.
Tails up. Of course it is, because that way I got to go all the way from the bottom of the list. All right, so let me get the right mouse here and go down to where it is. And the winner is... I don't believe it.
What?
Yeah, it sure is.
Oh,
all
my
right,
gosh.
We got to put it here. It is. The man right now is in Brazil. I kid you not. Chad Courtney. Taz 427 from the Geocaching Podcast.
What did he say?
He actually had in there is Amy the delightful HeadHardHatress. See, okay, there you go.
Okay.
So yeah, so that's
well, I didn't know if he was like spelling out everything that you said
no
in the beginning.
No. He actually put the question in there and then put the answer.
Yeah.
But that's how Chad is.
Funny.
Chad, you are the winner of.
He's not listening.
That
to
very
you.
no,
You
he's
know
in
that.
Brazil right now doing the
Looking
ape
for the ape
cache.
cache.
And I found out they were successful. They actually did find it.
Really?
We are going to have him. I don't know if he's going to be back in time for next Wednesday for the Geocaching podcast.
Yeah.
If he is, he's going to be so out of his mind. We don't think that he's going to do. So we're going to just do a Cache or Coffee next week. The following week, we want pictures. We want video.
Yeah,
We want
I would think.
full blown of his Brazilian geocaching adventure. And again, that's Taz 427. So that'll be in the next couple weeks over at the Geocaching podcast. So congratulations, Chad, for winning question 105. All right, so you say to yourself, now wait a minute, this is cool stuff. They give away great stuff each and every week from some really, really amazing geocaching companies. How do I get in on this? Well, it's very simple. To be eligible to win a prize from the Cache Stash, you can't win if you don't play. I'm just saying that for starts. All you have to do is send in your correct answer via email for this show, for this episode 106. You need to get your answer in by 12 noon Eastern Time Wednesday, April Fool's Day, April 1st, 2015. Get it in by 12 noon Eastern Time. Email it to gsreboot@gmail.com. Subject line put Q1 for question 1, episode 106 for this episode. All correct answers will be put in a drawing just like you saw. Some weeks for the people in the live chat room, we have a second prize like we did last week. Sorry, folks, not tonight. We do it at least once a month where we give a prize away right then, right there. We gave away that fantastic podcast, GeoCoin, last week to a lucky winner. And by the way, all those prizes for the past couple of weeks, they're going out this week. So look into your mail. Hang tight. They are on their way. All right, Miss Amy, question for this week for 106 for the Cache Stash. I suppose I can tell you what the prize is.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Would you type this in for me since I didn't get a chance to put it in?
Yes.
Now, we have given away several of these, and to be honest with you, the first time I have actually used one
I know who it's from now.
During the week. It's from GX Proxy, and this is very nicely known as the Torch. And it has a single LED in the front, and I went, and I'm walking more, and I walk at night, and I took this with me when I went walking a couple nights ago, and just to see how well it would do if it lights up or what. It did fairly well, didn't it? It's like a lightsaber. This thing is, this is like shockingly bright. Yeah, this thing, it doesn't hum. Sorry. But the light on this thing is amazing. It is super bright. Yeah. It's not like, oh, it's a flashlight. It's like this is a spotlight. And it puts a circle, 4 or 5 foot diameter in front of you, and it's like a blue-white spotlight.
Now, I know how big this is, so it'll give me a point of reference.
Yes.
How big in comparison to our potholes?
Yes.
How big is it?
Bigger than that. The actual spotlight on the ground?
Yeah, yeah.
It's that big.
Really?
Yes, it's bigger than.
Oh, wow.
And it's like bright light. The diffused light that goes around it is such a lighter shade. This thing is like a spotlight. It's that major. Beautiful flashlight. These are wonderful. Check them out at gxproxy.com if you haven't, or win them on the show. It's either way. So that's our prize for this week. What is the question, Miss Amy?
They want to add the humming feature.
You can hum and just, yeah.
Yeah. The question is, what is the official CETO weekend this year in 2015 to collect your CETO souvenir?
That's right. It's coming up quicker than you think, folks. Yep. CETO weekend's coming up. What are the 2 days for CETO weekend this week? Yes, I'm already looking. We've got several in the area.
Yes.
So this will be good for you to get your CETO souvenir. What weekend should you book to go to your CETO event? And send that in to us, gsreboot@gmail.com, and we'll get you in the drawing for that very, very cool flashlight, torch, and go from there. All right, good stuff. Great show. Let's wrap this puppy up. I'll leave that there. It has been one of those episodes, folks. I am just saying. All right, let's wrap this puppy up. What did we learn today? We learned a lot of cool tricks and ways of making very, very creative geocaches.
And
Please,
you learn stuff about turtles.
And you learn what turtles do and stuff. So yes, this is good. Turtles, unicorns, and things, and even geocaching. So we hope you enjoyed the show. It was a lot of fun, and we hope you got some golden nuggets for getting out there and planning your own geocaching hides. Let us know what you think about the show by coming in and either sending us emails or going through our social network or sending us a voicemail, whatever works for you. Let us know if this is the type of stuff that you want to see more of on the show, other ideas for that you would think that would be great subjects for shows. And I'm going to put this out for you right now because I want to start booking this. If you want to be a guest on the GeoSnippits Reboot Podcast as a geocacher, to come on and just talk about geocaching in your area and your expertise and your adventures that you've gone through, please send to gsreboot@gmail.com. Send in your name, your geocaching alias, and how to contact you, and we'll get in touch with you and make arrangements to get you as a special guest on the show, and we'll just book this over the year of getting you on, and because we love special guests and we love talking to geocachers, why not come on and be a member on the show and share your experiences with other people? I think it's really cool. Go ahead.
Did you know octopus has 3 hearts?
Wow. Well, that's no, I didn't. That's good. Thank you, chat room.
No, I also told them that.
That's awesome. Thank you, Amy, the HeadHardHatress. All right, we'd like to ask you, fine folks, please consider become a patron, and also tell other geocachers about the show and let them know so they can come in and find out about turtles breathing through their butts. I'm just saying. This is deemed worthy for geocachers. Approval, HeadHardHat. Just saying. All right, Miss Amy, please close us out.
I want to thank our sponsors, cache-events.com and coinsandpins.com. I want to thank this man right here for being so patient tonight. I want to thank everyone watching and our chat room. Please keep those comments coming in, and we'll see y'all next time.
Thank you. And a special thanks to the lady next to me. She keeps me young, if not confused. Lots of good stuff coming up for you in the next couple of weeks. Stay tuned. We'll let you know. Good stuff. Just good stuff. And more useless facts. We'll see you next time, folks, on the GeoSnippits Reboot Podcast on Thursday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time for another spine-tingling, useless fact-filled, turtle breathing through their butt episode of the GeoSnippits Reboot Podcast. I knew you'd like that one. All right. Yeah. Good stuff. Hokey smokes. See you out on the trails, folks. Wow. Bye-bye. Please be sure to join us each and every Thursday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time for another episode of the GeoSnippits Reboot Podcast right here on the GeoSnippits website at www.geosnippits.com. The video version of our show is available on YouTube, and the audio version is available on iTunes, Stitcher, Blueberry, the Tech Podcast Network, and many of your favorite podcatchers. We love hearing from our viewers and listeners, so please leave your feedback by emailing us at gsreboot@gmail.com, visit us through our social media sites, or contact us via our voicemail line, 919-341-9519, or use our website Send Voicemail tab. The GeoSnippits Reboot is a HeadHardHat production. It is produced by Amy and Andy Smith. The show is copyright 2015 by Andrew T. Smith. All rights reserved. In the heart of Texas. You know? Wow. Have a great one, folks. Be safe out there. We'll see you next week. Signing off. And clear. Thank you, folks, for stopping on by. Holy smokes, Bullwinkle. I'm just saying.
Have you never heard that song?
I'm sure I have, just not in that context, in that wig. So, yes, we hope you enjoyed this show. We had a lot of fun. Useless facts and all. And, hey, if it keeps you guys happy about doing useless facts during the show, go for it. That's the whole purpose of the chat room, is to chat. I'm just
I
saying.
even got the words, some of the words to the song in the chat room.
Wow.
So they know what I'm talking
All
about.
right. Good stuff. All right, folks. Have a safe week.
Oh,
The
my
weather's going to
goodness.
be crazy out there with heat and cold and tornadoes and stuff. I'm just saying. It's spring. It is spring. Be careful of the weather. It can come up in a heartbeat. So be safe out there. Stay hydrated. And more useless facts, we'll take them. I'm just saying. Have a great week. Have a safe week. See you next week on the GeoSnippits Reboot Podcast. Bye-bye. Turtle butt farts. I don't know. Wow. Bye.